Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day, night, honey, depending on where you are. It does not even matter where you are. Do understand and get your night, day, your life is going to get better when your perception gets better. So today's video is pretty much about being decisive, okay? Being decisive. Many times as we were growing up, okay, not everyone, but some of us, okay, we have been told how to think. Um, Pretty much somebody else would make decisions for us. Somebody else would pretty much speak up for us, in some cases. And that has led some of us, okay, to an experience where is though we keep giving people chances over and over and over again because of indecisiveness. Okay. One of the things you have to understand in life is boundaries. Okay. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. In order for you to have a high self-esteem about yourself, you have to have boundaries. Another thing is, honey, be impeccable with your words. When you say something, do as you say, okay? And I remember I was in this relationship, okay? Every time the guy who I was in a relationship with, he would be, going out and stuff like that. Not all the time, but he would go out. And before he would go out, and I can't say I didn't trust him. I didn't trust myself to see the red flags that, you know, he was a cheater, okay? And I remember when he would, get ready to go out, and I would always say, if I find you doing something, I'm leaving you. I'm not going to be with you no more. And it got to the point where, as though, whenever he would get ready to go out, he knew exactly what I was going to say because I would say it all the time. And you know what? When I did find out that he lied or he, did something, I never caught him uh, like, well, I would say cheating, but yeah, I caught him telling a whole lot of lies, okay? And instead of me leaving, okay, it would be something like, let me keep warning him, because if I keep warning him, then he won't do the unthinkable, right? He'll do exactly, he'll stay on he'll stay on a good foot of me, okay? He'll do what he need to do, and that don't work, okay? So say what you mean. Oftentimes people don't say what they mean because they afraid. They could be afraid of the person actually leaving them. You have to be decisive. And you think that by you being indecisive, or by you keep giving the people chances and chances and chances, that is going to teach them, you know, perhaps to treat you better, or, to do things different. Honey, that don't work. Okay? That don't work. People learn from what you demonstrate. So if you demonstrate that they can do any and everything to you, guess what? They're going to do any and as long as we are giving people chance after chance after chance, and they showing us exactly who they are and how they get down, so to speak, we doing ourselves a disservice. I remember hearing, I believe it was Maya Angelou, who said, believe people when they show you exactly who they are. Okay? It does not mean you a bad person, or it does not mean that um you don't have respect for yourself when you being decisive. It actually means the opposite. Okay. And by making decisions quickly and hardly ever changing them, okay, is a book, Napoleon Hill's book, and is Think and Grow Rich. In one section in that book, it talks about making decisions and how successful people make decisions and hardly ever change them. Okay. If you don't make the decision, somebody else will. I know I said that, but I really want you to understand it and get it. And I really believe the reason why sometimes, we go off our word is because we feel like this person or this company is going to change. People don't change because of that. They don't change because you keep giving them chances. They don't change because you giving them the benefit of the doubt. They change when they see there is something that they're doing in their lives that's not working. Okay? But it has nothing to do with you. You could either have boundaries, be decisive, or let somebody else run amok over your life. Okay? And people, for sure, they're going to do any and everything that you allow them to do. So make sure you are letting people know exactly what it is, okay, what to expect from you, and be impeccable with your words. Don't keep going off and on. Don't keep being indecisive. When you say something, stick to it. And the reason why, especially if you have low self-esteem, the reason why you will be indecisive and you won't stick to whatever it is that you're saying is because you afraid that you're not going to get something better. Perhaps like, oh well, if this relationship don't work out, what I'm gonna do. Well, honey, let me tell you something. First of all, you most likely settled in the first place. Okay, that's one. And then two, what you're gonna do if it don't work out, okay, you're gonna do the work on yourself to see exactly how is it that you was able to attract that relationship. What was it in you? How did you show up when you attracted that relationship? The way we view ourselves on the inside, it has nothing to do with how you dress, okay, honey, because you could be the flyest with a very, very low self-esteem. And honey, I know, because that used to be me. The way we treat ourselves and the inside and our self-image, that is exactly what we get on the outside. So do understand and get, okay? Everything that's showing up is just merely a reflection of how you treat yourself. And one of the things, for me, it was like, Dina, when you say something, you have to move on that. Don't be threatening. Even my youngest son sometimes he'll say, "Oh, you threatening, you threatening me," you know. But you have to say, and that's something that I'm doing. Okay, I'm sticking to my word, sticking to the guns, sticking to my guns. Because honey, I ain't doing nobody. I'm doing myself a disservice by flip flopping, saying one thing and then doing another. I'm gonna give you guys another example. So I remember a few years ago, right? Many of you guys know I used to do Uber, okay, rideshare, okay, a taxi, pretty much, okay, a person with my own goddamn vehicle, okay. I remember I had took Bob Proctor's coaching, right? And Bob Proctor was a part of The Secret. He taught about law of attraction and pretty much how to shift your paradigm, how to do things different in order for you to get different, okay? And how to change your habits. So I remember I had made a decision for me to stop doing Uber because at that time I just wanted to rock out to things that made me happy, things that I enjoyed doing. Okay. And when I first started doing Uber, it was first me challenging myself, and the guy who I was with at the time, I wanted to help him out like with the bills and stuff like that because I just got fired. And I was collecting unemployment, but the unemployment had ran out. So I didn't want all the pressure to be upon him. So I was doing Uber. Me and him had broke up later on. What happened was I decided to pretty much say, you know what, I'm not doing Uber no more. I'm just going to make videos, make content. At that time, I was doing network marketing. And I said, you know what, I'm not doing it. This chapter of my life is closed. I remember Bob Proctor's consultant, Andreas, okay, had contacted me to see pretty much how the coaching was going, right? And the coaching, it would be every week, people who signed up for coaching from Bob Proctor, we would get on a Zoom call, and it would be, I forgot the lady's name, but it would be one of Bob Proctor's, I believe she was like the vice president of the company or whatever. She would pretty much talk to us about whatever questions we have, and then Bob Proctor would get on the call and direct us and tell us what are the things that we need to do, things of that nature, answering questions and stuff. Particular day, Andres, Bob Proctor consultant, called me, and me and him was talking. I had told Andreas, right? Like, oh, I decided to quit Uber. But then I was going back and forth with myself. The things Andreas said to me, he said, when you make a decision, stick to it. Because if you go back and forth with yourself, you are damaging pretty much your confidence. And you don't necessarily trust yourself. So when you make a decision, stick to that decision. Now, after I quit doing Uber, later on I went back to it, okay? And that was pretty much of me being decisive. I remember hearing Bob Proctor saying, when people, you can always tell how someone is, like if they in a confused state. Like when you walk in and the person don't really know where they going. So like you go this way, they going that way, and they pretty much don't know where they going. That's because they in a confused state. Remember, everything that we tend to do, it shows up on the outside. Everything. Okay? So what have I learned, or what am I learning? Because when I do these videos, some of you guys, you will say, oh, I really needed to hear that video. But honey, I need to hear the video. Okay? Okay. What am I learning? Well, one is for me to get the lesson. Okay, for me to get the lesson that life is constantly showing me. And if I don't get the lesson, then I'm going to keep repeating the course. Two, to be very impeccable with my words. When I say something, okay, I want people to know, you know what? If she said that, that's what it is, okay? Then three, boundaries, okay? Having boundaries. Because when I have boundaries, one, I show people exactly how to treat me, and two, I demonstrate high self esteem about myself. And having boundaries is self love. When we tend to follow our heart, okay, in the book The Alchemist, it talks about the universe will conspire. So if you are afraid of being decisive, right, and following your heart, doing the thing what your intuition is telling you to do, then you going against yourself. I remember Nipsey Hussle said, would you go against the world for yourself, or would you go against the world for yourself, or would you go against yourself for the world? Message. Okay. And with that being said, I catch you guys on the next one. Peace.